start off by saying hello, everyone. Welcome to our volunteer kickoff session. So I want to clarify, we've had volunteers over the past year, but this is the first official session that we're having with a group from such a diverse background. So we're so excited to have you all here today with us. And I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you so much. I know how precious your time is, and we really want to highlight how much we appreciate you sharing your time with us and being here with us today. So cannot stress that enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so here's the agenda for today's meeting. Again, don't want to take too much of your time here, so it should not run more than 30 minutes. Quick agenda. I want to start off by talking about who we are, PhysioQ, what we do, why we do it. And then we'll go into what we need from you all here, and how we can stay connected, keep those lines of communication open. And finally, I think it's really important, we're really trying to build the community of volunteers that we have here today. So we want, just a brief introduction at the end, like a 1 or 2 sentences about who you are, where you're from, and why you decided to partake in this exciting adventure and opportunity. So that'll be the agenda for today's meeting. And if you have time later, you can stick around if you have questions for a Q&A. Now, I do want to strongly recommend that if you have questions throughout the short presentation, please feel free to type them in the chat box. We do have Jordan, who's here. He's our co-founder. And so he'll be happily answering some questions, as well as Tina, who is our star volunteer, who has been with us since the beginning. So she knows everything. She'll be happily answering questions as well. So don't be shy. And yay, Tina, Titania, hello. All right. So here we go. Let's launch into it. Okay. So our story, I think it's hard to start explaining our story without talking about Kipo. So we are a nonprofit called PhysioQ, but we started from Kipo, which is still an organization that exists today. It's a health tech social enterprise. And they were created by Jordan and Chris. They were founded in 2015. And some of the work that they do, this is one example. I have a video here. I won't share this documentary, although I highly recommend you watch it. So I'll leave the link here, and I'll be sharing the slides with you later. This is kind of their story about what they've done in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. They helped create this hospital, and from there they launched Ethiopia's first full circle medical system. So it's really cool. Yeah, it's so exciting. So please feel free to take a look at that. And they also launched the nonprofit that we are today, which is called PhysioQ. So PhysioQ was born from Kipo, and Neo, the project that you all seem to be interested in, is kind of born of PhysioQ. So that's a bit of the background, a bit of the family tree of the organization. All right, so PhysioQ. So who we are close partners with Center for Dynamical Biomarkers at Harvard, and we noticed that there was a problem. There wasn't enough research occurring. And so the biggest issue for us that we saw, sorry, I'm just going to ask you all to turn off your mics while I'm presenting, if that's okay, only because I'm getting a bit of an echo. So I'm not sure who it's from. I think yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. It's okay. It totally happens. Don't worry about that. Yeah, so what we noticed was that there was a problem with research. There wasn't enough research being conducted, and a huge reason for that is that there are extremely high barriers of entry to research. I know some of you on this call are researchers yourselves from having looked at your bios, and so you could probably relate to what I'm saying here. The biggest barriers for research are the ridiculously high costs of conducting research. So currently in the US, it's about $15,000 on average per person per year to conduct a research project. So that is wild. And there's also a lack of accessible tools in the research world. And so from there, we said, well, let's launch LabFront, which is the product that we offer at PhysioQ, the main product. And we did so in 2019 with the goal of making research more accessible to as many people as possible. And for us, accessibility really means lowering the cost of entry for those interested in doing research. So we lowered it by over 100 times, and really simplifying the process. So the steps involved in doing research require a lot of different kind of niche skill sets. So we created a product that can really streamline that whole thing. You don't need to know how to code or do all kinds of crazy analysis in order to be able to conduct your own research project. So that is LabFront in a nutshell. And so we had the core technology with LabFront, and then came this crazy pandemic that hit us in the winter of 2020. And so from there, we realized, well, there's a need for people to stay connected. So many people are in isolation at the moment, and they're unable to see their family members and their friends. We joined a global Techstars competition with Neo, and we won, which was great. And then now we're currently in over 10 countries, partnered with a few different companies that are listed below, and we recently were recognized as one of the top 15 COVID innovations by the World Economic Forum, or the WEF. So that is what's going on with Neo. It's all very new and very exciting. And now I want to kind of give you an explanation of what Neo is exactly. So I did share this statistic with the We Make Change website. It's in our bio. And here, according to the CDC, 40% of COVID transmission occurs before there are any visible symptoms. And so that for us was a ridiculously high percentage. It's a very scary number. And right now, what people are mostly using when you go into the restaurants or into schools and any kind of public place, we're using temperature checks. And that's one way of checking for COVID is fever. If you have a fever, you go to the doctor, there's a possibility you might have it. So the fever, the temperature is one biomarker, as we call it. But we know that there are so many other ways that our bodies can tell us whether or not we might be infected with this virus, such as things like SpO2, which is blood oxygen level, or heart rate variability, and so forth. There's over 10 different biomarkers. And our wearable devices, as well as other devices out there on the market, but the wearable devices that we're partnered with currently, which is Garmin, we are able to track that. And we were already tracking that with our LabFront research tool. So we thought, why not pivot and allow for people to monitor their vitals, and do so in a private group environment with their family members. And that way, if anything dips or goes below a healthy number, they would be notified. And they would be notified if anybody in their family had any kind of abnormality. And so that was a way for people to really be able to check in with loved ones and create like a closer kind of community and environment for them. And now, what makes us different? I know that there are a lot of other wearables out there on the market. Now, we're not a wearable company. Again, we're a nonprofit. We are what we call device agnostic. That means that we can partner with any device. We can partner with Fitbit or Apple. But right now, we're currently partnered with Garmin. We are a free service, again, and we connect families together. So we create these small groups. You can, everybody has their own codes. They can invite family members or friends into their private groups, and we allow for people to really be able to check in on one another in a remote way. We partner with Garmin because they are the most affordable wearable device out there. So, there are others, such as like the smartwatch that Apple's offering, which runs at a really high number. It's up there, I think, in the $300-400 range, as is the Oura Ring, which is quite popular right now. I know that NBA players are using it, so you might have heard of it. But that also runs, upwards of $300 US. Whereas the Garmin, the Vivo Smart 4 that I'm currently wearing, that we recommend, is with our 20% discount, runs at about $100 US. So it's it's the cheapest smartwatch wearable that can offer high quality monitoring with our platform. And I think the most important part of all of this is that we are a nonprofit. So again, we really don't tamper with anybody's data. We don't even have access to it. We don't repackage. We don't resell. We are we take data privacy very, very seriously. And we believe that everyone has the right to control their own data. We do, however, have the option. You can opt in to donate your data with our open data bank for COVID-19 research, if you so choose. It's not at all something that you have to go find in the fine print and uncheck. It's totally optional and it's encouraged. And so far, we've had a lot of our users sharing their data. But again, there is no expectation there. Okay. And so now we'll go into the next section, which is what we need from you. So again, this is such a new service that we're offering, and it is free. So we do want to really increase our exposure. We want you to help us get that word out. And that means doing reach outs. So currently we're in talks with different schools. There's a lot of schools reopening around the world, and we want to help, teachers, protect students and their families when they're returning to campus. We're also doing reach outs for small businesses. So that's, employers that care about their staff and want to make them feel comfortable coming back into the office and make them feel like they're being taken care of and their health is, a priority. So obviously this is a reach out for bosses that have this kind of priority in mind, as well as corporations. So we're looking to for corporate donations. Large corporations have corporate social responsibility, so they're always looking to help out nonprofits. They have that as part of their budget. So we're trying to recruit as many donations as we can via corporations, or if not financial, then partnerships. And partnerships are so helpful because they allow us to help get the word out. These corporations will then share. Partnerships just means, they're sharing our information with their wide network, and that's helping us gain increased visibility as well. We're also looking for any kind of donations or fundraising from everyone and anyone. It's not specific to those 3 points that I just mentioned. I want to highlight again that NEO is a free service, and while we're so happy to offer it for free because we see the value in it, it does cost some money to maintain. We do have a team of engineers that we need to pay, so there's always constant things that need to be adapted and edited. So we are really proud to offer it free, but it is not free on our side. And with that, there's total free range to do whatever. You can reach out to whoever you think in the community, or you can think big globally that would be interested in this kind of project. And yeah, we're so open to any feedback you have on ideas for donations or fundraising and reach outs. So again, we want to make this as simple as possible for you because we are a small team. So we just want more people out there sending out emails. We're going to provide all the templates for you. So really, it'll be a question of just having you finding those emails, reaching out to those people. It can be tricky, Googling them and going on their websites, LinkedIn's, getting those emails and sending out, just copy pasting the templates. Of course, you are more than welcome to provide feedback. If you want to tailor a message, maybe just run it through with us first so we can have a better idea of what's happening. But we are so open to any kind of input you have. And you might know the people that you're reaching out to better, or you might have an idea of how we can tweak our templates. So the templates will be provided for you again, but yeah, we're trying to make it as simple as possible, but you're more than welcome to share your ideas. So yes, brings us to our last bullet. Feedback and ideas are always encouraged and welcomed. All right, so we know that sitting around and Googling emails is not the most stimulating and exciting type of volunteering you can do. And so we really want to share that there are future opportunities that are a bit more probably interesting for the average person. And the first is that you can connect with our expanding network of partners, researchers, and volunteers. So we'll have video calls with some of the experts that we work with at Harvard to help fill you in on what's going on that side as often as we can. And we are also doing something called LabFront for Schools. So we're using this data analysis, wearable, and software platform we're promoting it in schools right now to get young people more engaged with data analysis and health science. And we are actually in the process of running a US competition, soon to be expanded across the country, but it's called Data for a Difference. And we're working with a nonprofit called Custom Ed in the US. And we have teenagers, seniors in high school, creating their own experiments using the wearable devices and collecting data, and they're trying to solve any kind of problem that they see in their local communities. And it's a competition, so it's getting them inspired to use technology and get excited about data analysis. So that's been really fun. They've come up with some great ideas so far. And for that, we always need things like people like mentors and judges. And again, I don't want to pigeonhole anyone. You don't need to have a very sciencey background to be able to be a mentor or a judge. This competition is Data for a Difference. And so we're looking at the scientific angle, but we're also looking at it through the impact angle. So how much these projects are helping out communities. And so that is a really exciting opportunity. All of this is going on virtually, so you can do it anywhere from anywhere, which is very, very accessible to everybody. There's also the option of representing us at future events. So we do a lot of virtual events. We just recently spoke at the Social Enterprise World Forum, as well as the World Economic Forum and other smaller events. So we are more than happy to have you represent us if that's something that interests you and do some public speaking on our behalf. that would be fantastic. And of course, we are more than happy to offer up letters of reference or recommendation and help you out on your journey and your career path. So these are the main areas, but there will be more coming up. Again, there's so much in store, so it's very exciting, but this is what we've come up with for today. Okay, and finally, how we're going to stay in touch. We will have a Facebook group that we're going to start for volunteers. We're going to post there often and just share some general updates about what's going on with the organization and have you all, have a platform where you can communicate together and share some highlights about what's going on in your journey. And we will also be using Google Drive. From there, we'll have spreadsheets all set up. All the templates will be in the folder, and it'll all be organized like that, laid out as clearly as possible for you. And we will try to have monthly video meetings. I think they're important. Of course, there's no pressure. You don't have to attend them, obviously, but it's nice for us to get a more community feel in these meetings and have people check in virtually and live in real time. They'll all be recorded, so if you can't make it, that's totally fine as well. But the option will be there, and we'll try our best to have some fun speakers, engaging speakers on for you to interact with from all over in our community. And lastly, we'll be doing some email check-ins. So again, I want to stress you are more than welcome to email me any questions that you have at any time. We're happy to answer those questions. And I'll also be checking in with you once in a while, see how things are going. And this week, I'll be checking in some point this week once we've got all the templates and things really fleshed out and finalized. I'll be reaching out to you with the links and you can go from there. And the name of the Facebook group, all of those links will be shared with you via email to start off. If you have further questions, please feel free to email us and we'll try and answer those as soon as we can. And if not, we just want to say again, a big thank you to all of you today and the others that weren't able to make it here today, but will be helping us in the future and joining our community. We are so, so incredibly grateful to have you with us. So thank you.